Thank you all for showing up to our ribbon cutting for 144 South, 500 East. I just wanted to quickly introduce my twin brother Peter, but before that we've got a roster of speakers that will be here this morning, including the mayor. Thanks, Mayor, for being here. Peter is the project developer, and he's really the brains behind this. He's put the time and effort into providing 108 units of affordable housing to downtown Salt Lake City with the support of his constituents and the city, the county, and our partner Renee and Claire Valles are here today with their family. Anyway, I just wanted to thank Pete for, if he's not running a hockey team in Brooklyn, New York, or helping out Centro Civico on the west side, or serving on his numerous boards, he's building affordable housing, and he's done a great job. He's been passionate about this for many years, including when he was mayor of Salt Lake County. So Pete, thanks for your efforts.
That's why you always number your pages, so when you drop them. And so we are hockey fans, and if you look closely at this mural, you can see a hockey stick and a hockey puck there, so we made sure our muralist put that in. Again, thank you for everybody for coming. We appreciate it, and we have some goodies upstairs for you after, and you can take a tour and see some of the great things in this building. But whenever you, whenever you finish a real estate development project, you swear you will never do another one. But then you think the next one won't be as hard. But this one was as hard. It was a rough project, as those involved with it know. The project actually started in 2017 when my brother and I were asked to invest in a project following the sale of another building. At that time, we were minority investors and weren't expected to be active partners, so we were just going to sit back and let somebody else do all the work. But that soon changed. The majority partner filed for bankruptcy, and in his place came a hard money lender who had rights to his share in the property. So then the other property announced he was getting, our partner announced he was getting divorced and needed to sell his interest in the property. So all of a sudden, we were the only ones left. Fortunately, we were able to buy out the hard money lender, and our new partners in the project, the Valles family, stepped in to buy out the gentleman who was getting divorced. So we were in charge, and we decided that the greatest need was affordable housing. So we changed what was going to be a higher-end building into affordable housing. So the project might be, I shouldn't say it might be a little nicer, but it's probably got a few more amenities that you might not otherwise see. It's got an outdoor deck with a spa, which you can see upstairs, a co-working space, a business space, a large lounge, a dog wash, and a dog park as well out back. And it's got some Zoom rooms for people who need a little privacy on their Zoom calls. So we were ready to go with the project, and then COVID hit and things stalled there. We were trying to get a HUD loan at that time, but HUD was busy dealing with COVID, and HUD essentially came to a standstill. But not before them requiring one parking space for one apartment unit, which actually isn't allowed in this zoning area. But we had to go to the city, and the city gave us approval. And we have a lot of parking in this building. It's all underground mostly. And at the same time, we did try to get one of our congressional representatives and the city to put pressure on HUD, but HUD would not budge. And then inflation and high interest rates took hold. So interest rates seemed like they were going up on a monthly basis. And we closed on our financing when rates were almost at their peak. So this project, compared to a project that finished a few years ago, will cost 48% more and will have 33% fewer units. So you can see what's happened in just the last few years with inflation and interest rates. We tried to get additional assistance from our state tax credit agency, but their program did not allow for additional funding at that time. They've since changed that, since a lot of developers can't do projects because of what's happened with inflation and interest rates. Then it was time to build the project, and our excavator told us that we could not build that close to the power lines that we had already spent $500,000 to bury. So we had to spend another $250,000 moving the power lines again. And once things finally got started, they seemed to be moving smoothly, thanks to our contractors. And then Rocky Mountain Power said we needed to move our meter room, which was supposed to be just in the back here, and they said we had to move it all the way down to the end of the project. And so that ended up costing us delays and another $250,000 in time and money. The bottom line, it was another hard project, and I swear I'll never do another project. So today, we give thanks to everyone who got it done. Sorry.
We love you, man.
Thank you. First, my wife, Amy, is in the back. She swears she'll never come to my speeches because I cry. I'm the only guy who can cry during a budget speech. So. But she did all the accounting and paid all the bills, so sometimes she got a little frustrated when I'd forget to send her the bills. Our tax credit investors, led by Terry Gentry of the Richmond Group, and Terry will speak today. Our primary lenders who couldn't be here, the Cedar Rapids Bank and Trust, who have actually have been great to work with. We ended up, as I said, having to abandon the HUD loan, and Cedar Rapids stepped in, so we appreciate them. And then our government authorities who oversee the application for funds for these affordable housing projects, the Utah Private Activity Board, they couldn't be here today because they were meeting this morning, and the Utah Housing Corporation as well. And then our secondary lenders who are very important and fill an important gap, that's Salt Lake City, Salt Lake County, and the Olin Walker Housing Trust Fund. And I think the Housing Trust Fund has to go to the governor's inauguration today, so I'm not sure they're here as well. So our timing was perfect when nobody could come, although we'd have a great crowd here, so thank you. And then we want to thank our architect as well, JZW, who designed this wonderful, wonderful building, and Gary Knapp, who led the team. Our contractor, Kier Construction, led by Tyler Schlem, Jason Kier, who spent every day here on the project, Garrison Hinckley and Stone and Griffin, who came in at the end to help finish up. So it's looking good today. They put a lot of work in over the last few days to make this look good. And of course, all our subcontractors and workers on the project, they work through hot summers and cold winters. It's amazing seeing these guys out here in the temperatures. And then our neighbors as well. We have great neighbors. I don't think we could have done this project without them. The Ben Albert over here, the U.S. Bank next door, Sunil's here. Thank you, Sunil. And our neighbors to the west, it's a business condo project. They were all great to work with and didn't complain, or at least they didn't complain to me. So, and then our muralist, Shay from Srill Art, his mural is outside there. It's the cougar. We did a red cougar. I don't think it was intentional that it be a red cougar, so we're sort of playing the middle here with the cougar and the red for the University of Utah. And then Chuck Landvatter, who did this mural behind us, another great mural. So, and this is all part of the city's 1% for art, 1.5%. I can't remember how much it is. Anyway, it was a beautiful project and great to work on. So now it's time to lease up the building, which will be led by our EMG management team. They manage thousands of apartments in Salt Lake and have another project with us, or a couple of projects with us. But first, we want to hear from our key dignitaries, and we want to start with Mayor Mendenhall, thank you again to the city for all its support, and all your team who we've worked with.
Thanks, Peter. It's really cool. I was just saying to our friends that we get together as a village to break ground. And we stand in a lot filled with dirt, and we get dusty and hot, usually on a spring day. And then we come back together in a finished product where there's keys and doors and people waiting to move in, and so much heart. Peter, your heart is clear, and you can't stop. I'm sorry. This can't be your last project. And we'll keep bringing some money.
Okay.
The heart is clear, and it's not only a heartfelt project, but it's a project of promise. It's a promise to Salt Lakers who are right around here right now. Station 1, Fire Station 1's just a block away. Those firefighters can afford to live here. The wait staff at Cafe Oasis, folks who are living in this, working in this office building right here. We have so many good neighbors in this vicinity, librarians just a couple blocks away. People who are driving the buses that are coming up and down 2nd South right now. These Salt Lakers deserve housing that they can afford, that is safe, and that's even a little nicer than expected maybe. Just since July, Salt Lake City has helped to produce 1,256 new units that are open today of affordable housing, and 127 of those are deeply affordable housing, and that's just since July. Since 2020, we've invested in the stabilization of, or the creation of, 6,400 units of affordable housing. That's 80% AMI and below, and those include deeply affordable housing units. We are not done. We're going to keep bringing our city's tax dollars earned by the people who need this housing to make sure that people like Peter and all of the partners that it's taken to get this project completed can keep going. We have to keep going. I want to give a couple of shout outs to some of our amazing Salt Lake City team. RDA project managers, Austin Taylor and Lauren Parisi. I know Danny Walls is here too. Our Redgate Properties, our general partner there. Valmont Investments, so many tax credits, and Peter's already named so many, and we'll hear from the architects and others soon. Thank you. Let's keep showing up for these barn raisings, because it really takes all of us. It's going to keep taking all of us, and we'll keep showing up as your partners. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. And as a reminder, I forgot that we do give discounts to our neighbors. Tally, how much? What's the neighborhood discount?
Yeah, $500.
An extra $500 off. So the fire station or the restaurant, whoever's a neighbor, and the U.S. Bank employees, they get an extra $500 off. Now we're going to hear from Salt Lake County, Mike Ackerlow, who I've known for years and been involved with affordable housing. So Mike, come on up and speak for Salt Lake County.
Thank you, Peter. Good morning, everybody. This is so exciting to be here and to see this beautiful building get ready for residents. I was telling Peter I was pulling out of the parking lot the other night across the street, and I didn't connect the dots, and this was all lit up, and I thought, oh my gosh, that's a beautiful building. I would love to live there. And then here we are today. I'm like, oh, maybe I can. No, I can't, unfortunately. Mayor Wilson unfortunately could not be here today and sends her heartfelt gratitude to you, Peter, and your team for this beautiful project and providing housing to so many people in need. I also want to just take a personal moment here and call out a couple friends of mine, Claire and Renee Valles from Valmont Investments. And we raised our kids just a few houses apart from each other. I was telling Claire, their boys were just little toddlers when they moved in on the street. And now they're all grown and functioning adults. And here we are, another meaningful connection. So it's good to see you, and thank you for your participation in such an important thing. You know, I'm going to assume that most of us here today are in attendance because we have a profound understanding of the need of affordable housing. I'm going to bring the mood down just a little bit and talk to you about, in a recent estimate nationwide says that we need 5 million homes. We are short 5 million homes in our country for people to live in. Locally, we need tens and tens of thousands. Homelessness has risen 18% across the country. That's 120,000 people. 750,000 people are homeless every night in our country. In our state, nearly 4,000 people are sheltered or unsheltered every night, but are homeless. The perception used to be that affordable housing was for just people with low incomes, but now it's really becoming ubiquitous. It's like the mayor mentioned, it's the people who work at Oasis, it's doctors and nurses, it's our school teachers, it's the people in our community, it's family members. They can't find an affordable place to live. I hear so many times, how can people not find a place to live? There's all these units being built in Salt Lake City, and there are a lot of units being built. It's just that people can't afford them. Our incomes are too low, and the rents are too high. The housing crisis is real, and it's putting families at risk for the long-lasting effects of financial and housing instability. That is why we cherish our committed community development partners like Peter and Chris, who roll up their sleeves and do the really hard work of developing affordable housing. These projects are not easy to do. You heard the long history of getting this project to where it is today. It's hard. Financing them is so difficult. And the ability to build a project like this with today's construction costs takes really, really sharp pencils, hard work, and true dedication. I loved just to see Peter's emotion as he talked about this. This is really a labor of love. And there's a lot of times when you scratch your head, and as a person who's developed affordable housing, you scratch your head and you wonder, can I continue to do this? This is just really hard. And then you have a day like today and you realize it is all worth it. The county was just one of many funders. We contributed about $250,000 of our federal allocation of our home funds to this project, but it takes partners like Salt Lake City, Claire and Renee from Valmont, the Richmond Group, and so many others to make this happen. Salt Lake County was able to put $25 million into affordable housing last year. That's a pretty remarkable amount to come into our community. Over 1,500 units will be built over the next 2 years, half of those for people who are below 50% of the area median income. So, Peter, on behalf of Mayor Wilson and the county, we want to thank you and your team, Claire and Renee, and all those who are involved with this project for your commitment to building strong communities. Because of you, 110 people will be able to, who make less than $50,000 a year, will be able to move into this beautiful building and call this place home. So thank you for your partnership, and we look forward to many more. Thanks, Peter.
And now I'll invite Terry Gentry from the Richmond Group. Terry, you can mention who all your investors are, but I've known Terry for 25 years now, and we've worked on a few projects together. So.
Oh, man, I'm filled with so much joy to stand in front of you and celebrate the grand opening of this apartment complex. 110 homes. We couldn't be more proud to be a partner. I had to write it down because there's so many people to thank, and I'm going to go through this as quick as possible. But first, I want to thank the development team. As Peter mentioned, we've worked together for 20 plus years. I've got to see firsthand his dedication, his ingenuity, his stick-to-itiveness, making something happen that I think a lot of people would have given up on. Thank you so much for your dedication and believing in me and partnering with me over these years. I feel so honored. Thank you so much. I want to thank our amazing investors in this project. The Richmond Group sponsors funds, and we get investors. This project had many investors. And I will say, Peter, we kept to our price. When all those other things were going against you, we did keep to our price. I think today you would be ecstatic if you had the price that we kept on this. But I want to thank our amazing investors. We have such great community-minded institutions here in Salt Lake. We feel we're so blessed to have American Express, Bank of the West, Ally Bank, Key Bank, and Zions Bank all put money part of the 17 million that we invested in this project. So I just want to thank them for fostering a vibrant community. I want to quickly go through, as Peter explained, when the HUD loan went under, I called up a friend of mine that I've done a lot of work with, the Cedar Rapids Bank, and introduced him to Peter, and we got that really to come together, and they're such a great lending partner. So I want to thank Cedar Rapids Bank. I want to thank the county for their $250,000. I want to thank the city for their $1,775,000. The Utah Housing Corporation, all of these partners. It doesn't happen in a vacuum. It takes everyone to come together and see the vision. I want a special thanks to the KIR team for their efforts and putting this together. EMG, we've just had such a wonderful relationship with them and their hard work, and I feel very confident that we're going to get families to homes in a very short time frame. This project's impact goes beyond providing homes, because I'd like to reiterate what the mayor mentioned, is that housing is economic development. And this housing will have the impact of almost 40 million to the community. Let's start with, during construction, it provided almost 100 jobs. The resident spending will provide 60 jobs on an ongoing basis. The total economic impact and tax revenue estimate is over $1.5 million. So economic development, housing is economic development. So the money invested by the city gets paid back. It gets paid back in vibrant communities and in tax revenue. So thank you to the community. Thank you to our partners. And Peter, I'll be right there if you go to the next one. Thank you so much.
And as the mayor said, that this project was largely funded by the redevelopment agency, and Salt Lake City Council member Alejandro Puy is the chair of the redevelopment agency, so we're going to give him a second to speak. Thank you.
I remember 13 years ago when when you were retiring from the mayor's office, the county mayor's office, I came for a photo, and I happened to stumble about that photo the other day. It brought me some memories about what you were thinking about doing, and I thought that you were going to be relaxing and enjoying, and now you put yourself through, I don't know, maybe the county council and this project. I don't know which one may be worse, but in any case, it's been so long it's incredible to see projects like this that take so much work, and most people will never know how much work it took from many of you to make things like this happen. And it's also humbling to see that housing in our neighborhoods is happening to affordable levels, where you, your kids, your grandkids could live here in downtown of Salt Lake City. A block and a half from the governor's mansion, a block and a half from one of the most beautiful cathedrals in the state, historical district. Many people wish to live in these neighborhoods, and these are maybe some of the most desirable parts of Salt Lake. And now we have a project that working class neighbors could afford. So I know that those tears may have been of pain, but I hope that you, Peter, and your partners and the many people that contributed to this realize that hopefully there are tears of joy, because you are giving housing and a home to hundreds of families here. So I want to thank also I always forget to highlight the RDA staff and how hard they work The Redevelopment Agency of Salt Lake City is a separate entity from Salt Lake City that manages a lot of the affordable projects that we have. And we tend to get involved when there is gap funding needed for affordable housing or for some other goals that we have in our city. And we work very hard, the staff of the RDA works very hard to make that happen. And it is because of them that today we, in part, we're cutting this ribbon. So thank you, the RDA. And it's also impressive to see that this building is also all electric, what that means for our air quality and for our future in our city. So this is a building that is sustainable for many generations to come. And I really wanted to say thank you to let our city be partners of this. And when I look at many of you, and some of you I know for many, many years, I want to hope that we remember that we are in this together. That when we're talking about affordability, we need affordability in all parts of our city. And that affordable units are not for undesirable families, but is for those families that are working very hard to make ends meet today. And they deserve to live in all the neighborhoods. So thank you for betting in our city and to making our city better. So thank you, Peter.
I see Carlton Christensen, he's one of the UTA commissioners here. One thing about this project also is that we're on a major bus route, 200 South now, and there's a UTA bus, or a University of Utah bus that stops across the street too. So we've got a lot of great transportation in the neighborhood, and the TRAX line is just a couple of blocks down as well. I want to introduce our architect, JZW, Gary Knapp, who's been with us along the way, along the ride with our different partners as well. So come on up, Gary.
Thanks, Peter. Yeah, it's an opportunity to be here today. Yeah, I'm Gary Knapp with JZW Architects. I had the privilege of being the project manager for this beautiful building. I work with an incredible team at JZW Architects, and I appreciate the opportunity to say a few words. For me, this project started in 2015. I was working with a different developer on this property, and we put together some floor plans and elevations. We were excited about this project, but unfortunately, the developer decided to sell the project and walk away. So we thought the project was dead. A few months later, we had a few other developers inquire about the project, and again, well, they learned about a major challenge with this project, which Peter kind of already talked about. All the perimeter of this property was surrounded by overhead electrical lines that had quite the cost to remedy. And so, again, we thought the project was dead. A little bit after that, another developer showed up, and we were really excited about this developer and thought, okay, this is gonna go. But unfortunately, this developer walked away too. Then just before COVID hit, Peter called, and he reached out, and we were excited again, but skeptical. And then COVID hit, and more uncertainty came. Many of our projects kind of went on a partial holding pattern, but Peter didn't give up. We finally submitted for a building permit. We got approval from the city, and Peter went to work on the financing, as he already explained. And again, during that process with HUD and with other things, we went down 20 feet. We were originally not going down that far. Then we came back up. We added more parking, got rid of it. We made quite a few changes. And in the end, we thought at many points that this project was dead. But then Peter called and said that he's ready to build this building. He'd worked out the financing, and now we're here today in this beautiful building. I've worked on many projects, but this is the longest one that I've worked on a property before seeing it completed. The list of obstacles that we've encountered is very long, and that's why today is so fulfilling. But I'm amazed that Peter Caroon kept pushing forward. I've worked with a lot of developers, but I've not worked with many that have the same dedication and commitment to a project as Peter. He was relentless during this process, for which I'm grateful, and I'm grateful for Kier Construction, who also was dedicated and committed to getting this project built. And so on behalf of JZW Architects, we are proud to have been part of this project. Thanks, Peter.
And when Gary says relentless, he means a pain in the rear end. So, but thanks for getting it done. And I see some of our other developers here from around the community. The Give Group is doing a project right up here. Chris Parker's here. I thought I saw Marion Willie hiding back there. He's the king of affordable housing in Salt Lake. But we couldn't get it done without our contractors. As I mentioned, we had a whole slew here and many workers that they supervise. So, Jason, are you the man? Come on up. Jason's our superintendent.
Yeah, it was definitely touched on before, but I'm Jason, and just wanted to say thank you. This is a great opportunity to build such a beautiful building for such a great cause, you know, and but it was touched on. It definitely employs a lot of people. You know, we're really, really grateful that we were given the opportunity to do this. You know, it took hundreds and hundreds of people and a lot of hard work from the top down, and we're just really grateful to have this opportunity. So thank you.
Thank you, Jason. So that's it. I know it probably went a little longer than we planned, but we have goodies upstairs. We have bagels, coffee, Diet Coke, water. We've got some good stuff. So you have to eat it, because otherwise I'm going to have to eat it. So anyway, thank you all for being here. We appreciate it. And walk around. It really is a beautiful project. Oh, we have to do the ribbon cutting too. Jeez, I forgot. All right. Renee, Claire. 1, 2, 3. Yeah.